Hello family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner, and today I am out at the Hancock Homestead because it is time to make homemade vegetable salsa. And I have already done the prep work of the vegetables and we are ready to move on to the actual making of the salsa. And I will be using the recipe that is in the Ball Complete book of home preserving. Now, before we get started, I want to read to you the ingredients that you are going to need. My reader's on here. Okay, so for fresh vegetable salsa, to make 10 8-ounce jars, and the 8-ounce jars are jelly jars, or to make 5 pint-sized jars, and these are the size of pint-sized jars, and that's what I will be using. Okay, although for Christmas it's nice to give gifts in a smaller size, but anyway, 10 8-ounce jars or 5 pint-sized jars needs these ingredients: 7 cups of chopped, cored, and peeled tomatoes. Okay, so what I do is that I like some of my tomatoes to be a little bit larger, so I hand chop them so that I get bigger chunks. But then I do half this way, so I do about 4 cups hand chopped, and then the additional 3 cups I send through my food processor, and with that you get more like a sauce type base. But anyway, you decide which way you want to do it, food processor or chopped by hand. I do both. I use half and half. That's up to you. But you're going to need 7 cups of chopped peeled tomatoes. Okay, 2 cups of coarsely chopped onions, 1 cup of coarsely chopped green bell pepper. Now, we use all 3 colors, and I'll explain how I do that as I go. Basically, I use 1/3 cup of each color. Okay, 8 jalapeno peppers, seeded and finely chopped. So I have the jalapeno peppers, 3 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, 1 5-ounce can, 1 5.5-ounce can of tomato paste. You can buy them in that size. I could not find it in that size, so I had to buy the bigger can, which is 15 ounces, so I'll just use 1/3 of this, okay? Or 3/4 cup of white vinegar, okay? A 1/2 cup of loosely packed, finely chopped cilantro. So there's my spice of cilantro. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. So there's my spice of ground cumin. Alright, so I have all of the ingredients and I'm ready to start. Step 1. In a large stainless steel saucepan, combine tomatoes, onions, green peppers, jalapeno peppers, garlic, tomato paste, vinegar, cilantro, and cumin. Bring to a boil over medium-high heat, stirring constantly. Reduce heat and boil gently, stirring frequently until thickened for about 30 minutes. Alright, so let me get out a measuring cup so we can start adding these ingredients. Alright, 7 cups of chopped, cored, peeled tomatoes. Alright, we're right here, and this bowl is 4 cups that I hand chopped, and I'm going to add the 3 cups that I sent through the food processor. Okay, so there are my 7 cups for 1 batch. Okay, I'm just going to do 1 batch at a time here for you. Alright, so 7 cups of tomatoes. 2 cups of coarsely chopped onions. There's 1 and 2. Okay? 1 cup of coarsely chopped green pepper. Now, because I like the colors, what I do is 1/3 of a cup of each, because 3 times 1/3 gives you a whole cup. So we'll do a third. This is a 1/3 cup measuring device, measuring cup. So this is a 1/3 cup measuring cup. So I'm going to do 1/3 yellow, 1/3 green, and 1/3 red. All right. Then it says 8 jalapeno peppers. Okay, well, we don't like that many. We don't like it that spicy, so I only use half of what I chopped, which comes to about 1/3 of a cup of them. Okay? Well, maybe just a little over 1/3. All right, so anyway, use half of your jalapenos if you like it mild. All right. 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped. All right, so there are my finely chopped cloves of garlic. Okay, and then 5½ ounces of tomato paste, and this is a 15-ounce jar. You can buy the smaller cans that are exactly right, but I'm going to eyeball 1/3 of this can. All right, looks right. 3/4 cup of white vinegar. All right, this is a 1 cup measuring cup, so I'm going to just use 3/4 of this. That means almost to the top. Okay, so then it says 1/2 cup of loosely packed, finely chopped cilantro. Okay, well, we don't like quite that much cilantro, so I also cut that in half. So instead of a 1/2 cup, I'll be doing a 1/4 cup. Okay, and then 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. Okay, so there's the ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon. All right, and it says to stir all this together, bring to a boil over medium-high heat, and reduce heat and boil gently, stirring frequently until thickened for about 30 minutes. So now I'm going to bring you guys in closer so you can see what this looks like in the pan. Okay, friends, so I have all of these ingredients for the fresh vegetable salsa in my pan. And there it is before it's stirred up. You can see the tomato paste, the vinegar, all the different colors of the peppers, the garlic, the spices. All right, and while I was getting you off the tripod, I went ahead and put together another batch. So I have 2 batches of salsa that I need to stir, bring to a boil, then lower the temperature and cook for 30 minutes. So let me get this stirred up and then I'll show you what it looks like. Look at all those beautiful colors. That's one reason I like to make this salsa during the fall, is because it reminds me of fall with all the fall colors in there. Of course, your predominant color is the red, but you can see some yellows and some greens. Okay, friends, I put both pans on that side of the stove because now I'm going to move on to step 2, which is preparing your canning equipment. Okay, friends, so as you can see and probably hear, they are now boiling. So I'm going to give them one final stir here. All right. And then I'm going to turn down the heat to just let them simmer. There we go. All right, I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. All right. Let's get the canner ready. See, it says step 2. Meanwhile, prepare canner, jars, and lids. All right, so let's get that done. Okay, friends, so to do the salsa, we're going to use what's called the boiling water heat processing method. So the first thing we're going to do is get our hot water canner ready. All right, so here is my hot water canner. All right, I washed it off, washed everything off really well, and I have my jars that came out of the dishwasher in there. And my canner will hold 8 jars. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start filling up these jars. Okay, and then you're going to lower this rack down into the canner. All right, and then you're going to continue to fill your canner up to that line. Okay? Okay, and while you're preparing your canner, don't forget to stir your salsa, because you don't want it burning on the bottom, so you have to consistently stir it. Okay? Alright, now I'm going to put this onto the stove. Okay, friends, so we are going to be using the boiling water heat processing method. And the book gives you a step-by-step. But basically, the jars of high acid foods are processed in a boiling water canner, which heats the jars and its contents at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we are going to be doing a high acid food. Alright, so on the stove I have my boiling water canner, my hot water canner, and it's got 8 pint jars and 2 8-ounce jelly jars in there heating up. I have my lids and my rings heating up, and I have the salsa simmering to get rid of a little bit more of the water content in it, because I want it just a little bit thicker. Alright, so we'll be almost ready to go soon. And then while I had everything on the stove getting ready, I also laid out what I was going to need here. Now, this is my canning tools. I go through this each time. You can buy these in a set. You have your funnel, you have your jar lifter, you have your debubbler and your head measure, and you have your magnet. And then I also like to use a plastic ladle. Okay? Now the ladle you have to buy separate, but these 4 pieces come in a set. Alright. Okay, and so while I wait for things to get ready here, I like to kind of pre-read Make sure I'm not missing anything. Lay everything out. I also put down a heavier towel over my plastic tablecloth. I have my pot holders here for my hot stock pots. Okay, so let me just read to you what step 3 says, which is the step that we're going to be doing next. Step 3 says, ladle hot salsa into hot jars, leaving 1/2 inch headspace. Alright, so I'm going to look at this. This is measured out. And this is an inch, so I'm thinking that the 1/2 inch is right there. Okay? Alright. And then it says, remove air bubbles and adjust headspace. If necessary, you might have to add more salsa or take some out. Wipe rim. Okay, that's something I need to get ready, so that's why you should pre-read. Center lid on jar, screw band down until resistance is met to fingertip tight. Alright. Okay, so to clean off the top of the jars, I like to use white vinegar and a clean dish rag. Okay? Alright, the lids are ready to go. The salsa is ready to go. And out the jars are ready to go. So let's get started. Alright. Don't need those. Need to get my book up and out of the way. Yep. Alright, and my salsa. And the jar grabber. Put all the jars back. Alright, very carefully you're going to lift out a jar. And then you're going to pour that water away from you, okay? All right, I like to set my jars on a plate, like so, using a funnel. I dip in my salsa. All right. Using my debubbler, I debubble. Alright, I'll measure that headspace because I don't want the lids to blow off. I either add or remove accordingly. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, I'm going to wipe off this rim. Using my magnet, I'm going to grab out a lid. Come on. Sometimes they like to stick together. There we go. Alright, and then I'm going to center that onto my jar. Get out the appropriate ring. Put that on there fingertip tight. Alright. And go on to the next jar. Okay, so here we go. Next jar. Alright, so I'm going to get out a jar. I'm going to pour that hot water away from me. Alright, using my funnel, I'm going to fill that up. Okay, I'm going to debubble it. I can tell I've got too much in there. Just a little bit more, too much back. Headspace is important, and it calls for a 1/2 inch headspace. Headspace is important because if you get too much in there, it can push your lid off during the processing. If you don't get enough salsa in and you leave too much headspace, you can develop an air pocket, and then that will set off a negative result as far as bacteria developing. All right, so that looks good. All right, wipe off this rim. Fingertip tight. All right, on to the next jar. One, two, three, 4, 5, 1, 2. Let me get these jars into my canner, and then I will set the timer. Alright, so step 4 says place jars in canner, ensuring that they are properly covered with water. Bring to a boil and process both 8-ounce and pint jars for 20 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. Then it says remove canner lid and wait another 5 minutes, then remove jars to cool and store. Alright, so we just have to wait 20 minutes and then 5 more minutes and we'll be ready to take them out. This is an awesome book, guys. I highly recommend it. Alright, I'm going to bring you in so you can see what the jars look like in the canner. There they are. All right, let's get that lid on. And the timer started. There it goes. All right. I'll be back. Okay, friends, well, there is our 20-minute timer, so I'm going to take the lid off. All right, and then I'm going to reset the timer for 5 minutes. All right, and we're going to let this boil for an additional 5 minutes without the lid. Okay, guys, there's the timer for the 5 minutes. Turn that timer off, and we're ready to take the jars out. And when they start to seal, we should start hearing popping sounds. Oh, they sure do look pretty. Oh, there was pop one. I'm going to go ahead and start the next batch. Okay, so I have just a tiny bit left, which is nice because I'm going to do a taste test. Yep, that's going to taste really good on chips. Listening for pops. You can also tell visually. These that have not sealed have a little bump on them. These that have sealed are indented. So you don't always necessarily have to hear the pop. You can see the pop. I can see it. It's that one right there. Okay, friends, well, I have 10 pint-sized jars and 4 8-ounce jars of homemade vegetable salsa that I can enjoy and that I can share with family and friends. So, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know more about what's going on in my corner of the world, hit that subscribe button to Kim's Country Corner. And be sure and hit the like button and the subscribe button. And thanks for being here. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye for now. Awesome day. Awesome day.